This is Bam Bam, my 1977 Jeep CJ7 Renegade. This project started out the right way. I saw a post on FaceSpace in July of 2025 in one of my Jeep groups that stated they need to get rid of this CJ7 from their parents' driveway. It had been sitting for 4.5 years at this location. I found out later that it sit quite a bit before this owner had it, but had very little mileage over the past 15 years. I checked the oil to make sure before I applied any power to see if the engine would move. It did. I winked at my wife, and we bought the Jeep. I had towed back to the house so we could start working on it the next day. This Jeep had been through quite a bit. His original body was replaced by a fiberglass one, and whoever assembled it did a great job on the body and the lift, but the wiring, man, they lacked the ability to complete stuff, and that's an understatement. As I looked at the Jeep and seeing what he'd been through, he seemed like a caveman with the big tires and lift, but still quite tough. Bam Bam came to mind, so I named him that. Bam Bam was a 1977 Jeep CJ7 Renegade with a 304 8-cylinder with Quadra-Trac that features the full-time four-wheel drive system. It's paired with a BorgWarner transfer case. With an automatic transmission that is the GM Turbo 400 automatic, TH400 for those keeping up, an Edelbrock 2-bar carburetor, rear MC20, and a Dana 30 axle. He also has a 4-inch lift and 35s. Like I said, he's a big boy. The engine. The 304 had been rebuilt in the last 15 years or so, and according to the titles I tracked back, it only had 6,000 miles in the last 15 years. Now that's hard on an engine, but I checked all the fluids, and he had enough oil for the initial start as he would turn over with the starter. I disconnected the tank from the fuel pump and used ether to start the 304. It roared to life using a 5-gallon tank. I had to add antifreeze and transmission fluid to the Jeep. It didn't leak any antifreeze, so I guess someone drained it after they parked it. The transmission just simply leaked out. I took Bam Bam out for a shakedown run, and everything worked as expected. The 304 was coming around with no signs of smoke, so I decided to hook up the original tank after I arrived back at the garage. Now, I did install several Wix filters before and after the mechanical fuel pump. I ran it with the new filters for about 30 miles, and the Jeep just simply died. The filters were horribly clogged. So the next item was the gas tank. Whoever attempted to paint this Jeep before cut a hole in the body for the fuel tank sending unit, which does make it easy to replace. But when they painted it, they didn't cover it. It had paint all over the old sending unit and inside the gas tank. I'm very glad I disconnected the gas tank. I ordered a new tank, filler neck, fuel sending unit, and then installed new lines and filters throughout the Jeep. That took care of the problem. As I was examining Bam Bam, the windshield frame was almost completely gone, but the glass was in great shape. Ordered a new windshield frame and hinges and then painted it flat black. I had the glass moved from the O frame to the new one. I then taped the dash and sanded it down and painted the same color across the board flat black. Looked great. While I was replacing the windshield frame, I couldn't help but notice the wiper motor, and the whole wiper assembly was in terrible shape. I ordered a new motor, switch, and wiper assembly. I had installed the wiper motor and switch before on Sarge, but I never replaced the entire wiper assembly. This was another learning experience for me. I had to remove the wiper assembly twice as the linkage arm would not reach the motor. Once the wiper assembly was correct, it lined up as it was supposed to. Imagine that. I am fortunate as I also kept the O frame and used it as a pattern for the new one, which is really handy for me in the future. Remember, Jeff, keep the old stuff so you can look at it. While all the above mentioned items were going on, I contacted a local body shop and asked if they would paint Bam Bam the original Alpine White, which is based upon the VIN. They stated they would, but wouldn't do any decals or the windshield frame as I'd already completed that. They couldn't do it until October, so it gave me a lot of time to complete other things, just like I ordered and replaced the hood. The original hood had struck the old windshield frame before I owned it, and the Renegade decal was in very bad shape. I ordered the hood and the Phoenix Renegade decals. Purchased and had installed BF Goodrich KO2s to replace the Mickey Thompsons that were a mixture of 10 to 15 years old. Rewired the entire lighting system as only the headlights and brake lights worked. This was straightforward once I got a diagram. I also installed a negative block under the dash for grounding items. If you've never dealt with a fiberglass body, you can't just ground stuff like you can on a metal one. Although I knew this going in, I didn't know what kind of nightmare it was tracking down a ground, thus a shiny negative block under the dash. I also replaced the old 8-din radio with a brand new one. If you watch the videos on the Sarge, you know I'm a big fan of Raptorliner. I decided to paint the interior with black Raptorliner. I followed the same process I did with Sarge by sanding the interior, sprayed the entire interior with U-Pole spray adhesion promoter, and rolled with black Raptorliner. To say I'm impressed is an understatement, as it made the interior really pop. Clean and prep the frame for 415. Painting the frame is something I've done before with Sarge, and I thought it might be easier with Bam Bam as he has a 4-inch lift and 35s. But no, I was reaching and stretching much higher, and it was much more difficult. But man, did it turn out great and really shiny. So I think it looks pretty good. Installed a rugged ridge stereo security center console. Everybody needs a cup holder, but a CJ does not have secure storage or cup holders. So I think it makes a really good addition. Ordered an LED rock light kit. This is the 8 light kit, and I installed and tucked the wires under the battery. This was an interesting run, as I had to run the wires around the headers, so make sure the headers didn't burn through the hole through the rock light wires. Mid-October arrived, and it was time for paint. I was excited. I brought the Jeep to the body shop. They had had the Jeep for 3 weeks, and during the second week, I made a trip up there to see the progress. They had sanded Bam Bam down and taped the entire Jeep. It was in the paint booth, and the hood was off for painting. We went to trip to Niagara Falls, and when we got back, it was ready for pickup. The Jeep looked great. When I got Bam Bam home, I did a graphene coating on the new paint to protect it, and man, did it look awesome. I also added new fender flares from Onyx and factory style replacement mirrors. Next was the Renegade decal package. My friend Ron at Pro Tint in Lafayette, Tennessee, agreed to do the decal. Now, I could have done the decal, maybe, but I believe in leaving some items to the professionals, and I am not one in this case. Ron did the decal, and it really set the look off on the whole Jeep. The Renegade decal package is a must-have, so it looks really, really good. Thanks, Ron. Bam Bam has been a great project this year. My passion for doing things right the first time has paid off, and now I have a special edition Jeep CJ7 that not only can I drive, but my wife can too. He fits in with Sarge in the garage, and I look forward to driving him throughout next year as he is a great going to town rig. It's really shown me that you don't need a new Jeep to go have fun. Go find you an old one and fix it up. You won't regret it much. I hope this was informative for you. And if you have any questions, drop me a line in the comments and I'll answer if I can. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe.